Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Do you have anybody there who wants to lead Kirtan?
No one here at all.
Okay. Okay, I will lead.
Okay.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Pariprajaka Stotra Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Tham Ki Jai, Navadip Tham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna, and welcome everybody to Caitanya Caritamrita reading with His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami.
Come in.
It is Thursday, December 4th in 2025, and we're beginning with Caitanya Caritamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 17, text 237. I also sent a reminder in the chat to use large font so that we can all read the text in the chat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Paramraj, would you like to begin?
Angshi Bajye Gopi Goner One Akorshon Tasavar Sange Yaiche Bana Biharon. Srivas Thakur extensively explained how the gopis were attracted to the forests of Vrindavan by the vibration of Krishna's flute, and how they wandered together in the forest. Tahi Madhye Troy Ritu Lilar Varnan Lilar Varnan Vatupana Rasotshava Jol Keli Katan. Srivas Pandit narrated all the pastimes enacted during the 6 changing seasons. He described the drinking of honey, the celebration of the rasa dance, the swimming in the Jamuna, and other such incidents. Bolo bolo bole Prabhu shunite ullas, vibas kohen tobe rasha, rasher bilas. When the Lord, hearing with great pleasure, said, "Go on speaking, go on speaking," Srivas Thakur described the Rasa Leela dance, which is filled with transcendental mellows. Kohite shunite oiche kata kala hoilo Prabhu Shiva Shere Toshi Alingona Koilo. As the Lord thus requested, and Srivas Thakur spoke, the morning appeared, and the Lord embraced Srivas Thakur and satisfied him. Tobe Acharyer Kore Koilo Krishna Lila Rukmini Swarup Prabhu Apanai Aila. Thereafter, a dramatization of Krishna's pastimes was performed in the house of Sri Chandrasekhar Acharya. The Lord personally took the part of Rukmini, the foremost of Krishna's queens. Kabhu Durga Lakshmi Hoy, Kabhu Ba Chichokti, Kate Bashi Bhaktagone, Tila Prema Bhakti. The Lord sometimes took the part of goddess Durga, Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, or the chief potency, Yoga Maya. Sitting on a cot, he delivered love of Godhead to all the devotees present. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupakodamayam Tathati Shapadantikam Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Jatapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raganathan Vitam Sam Sajivam Shadvaitam Shavatutam Prarijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hori Priye Pancha Golpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhobhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. just remembering a time at 26 Second Avenue when Srila Prabhupada was talking a little bit about dramas. Perhaps it was the occasion when two sisters, Indira and Ekayani, took the part of Radha Krishna in a little dramatic performance. And Prabhupada was talking about different things. He said that he was recalling the time when he and his friends were playing in a drama in Calcutta of Chaitanya Leela. And he looked out into the audience and he saw that all the people were crying. And he thought, why all these people are crying? And he said it was because we were devotees. They were not playing out of some professional interest, but they were playing in devotion, and therefore the onlookers had that devotional feeling was communicated to in the drama to the audience. So Prabhupada emphasized that when there's any drama, similar performance, then the performers should all be devotees. He also said that back in those days, no woman would take any of the parts. He said the friend who played Shachi Devi, he said his shoulders were so broad. If there was some woman's part, then one of the boys or men would take the part. And that was true even in Europe, of course. Shakespearean drama, the women's parts were all taken by men. And here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the part of Rukmini or Lakshmi, or the goddess Durga. Prabhupada said nowadays very respectable women also take part in theater productions. But in those days, Ekadino Mahaprabhu Nritya Abhoshane Eko Brahmaniyashi Torila Chorone. One day when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had finished his dancing, a woman, the wife of a Brahmin, came there and caught hold of his lotus feet. Choronera dhuli she loy bar bar, dekiya prabhur dukha hoilo apar. As she took the dust of his lotus feet again and again, the Lord became unlimitedly unhappy. Purport: this holding of a great personality's lotus feet is certainly very good for the person who takes the dust. But this example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's unhappiness indicates that a Vaishnava should not allow anyone to take dust from his feet. One who takes the dust of a great personality's lotus feet transfers his sinful activities to that great personality. Unless the person whose dust is taken is very strong, he must suffer the sinful activities of the person who takes the dust. Therefore, ordinarily, it should not be allowed. Sometimes in big meetings, people come to take the same advantage by touching our feet. On account of this, sometimes we have to suffer from some disease. As far as possible, no outsider should be allowed to touch one's feet to take dust from them. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally showed this by his example, as explained in the next verse. And during Prabhupada's time, there was some considerable effort directed toward keeping people from taking dust. Someone else like to read?
All right.
There's Okay, yes.
Yes.
Well, hold on, we have Sham Sindhu has a question.
Okay.
How does that work? The transferring of sins from someone grabbing the lotus feet of a great, or I think it's anybody. If someone grabs the feet of any personality, then then it's like an exchange. They get something from the other person. That person gets their stuff.
Yeah, it seems like there's some exchange from this process. The person whose feet are touched gets the sinful reactions. Person touching is supposed to get some blessing. So how exactly it works, we don't know. But it works. I don't have a scientific explanation, what exactly gets transferred, but it's there. Just think it was there.
What's the respectful way to go about this? I saw the story of Pigpen, who Prabhupada allowed to grab his feet, but I don't think that those are emulatable examples. So what's the respectful way to approach somebody and essentially, I suppose, get their blessings in that manner?
Yeah, well, it's quite conventional and respectful to take the dust of someone's feet also. Just that our motives should be pure. Not just that we want to dump simple reaction. To touch the dust of someone's feet really is supposed to signify the willingness to serve them. Therefore, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj would show people up, they come to, probably told the story of one landowner. Babaji Maharaj was chanting in some not so desirable place, maybe near a latrine or else. And there was some wealthy local Bengali landlord, and he came to offer respects to Babaji Maharaj. Sir, is there anything I can do for you? And Babaji Maharaj said, why do you want to make me your tenant? You have so many tenants, why do you be your tenant? No, you're not my tenant, you're my lord. All right, then sit down here and chant. So of course ran away.
Response sounds strange, but you get attention.
There's something in the chat.
Yes. Praveen Prabhu writes, a whole chapter is there about this drama in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Prakriti Swarupa Nitya Habe Amara Dekite Ya Jitendriya Tara Adhikara. I will dance as the Lord's potency. Only one who is self-controlled is qualified to watch.
All right, shall we go on to the next verse?
Yes. Guru Maharaj, would you like to read, or can someone
else would read? That would be good.
Does Sham Sindhu Prabhu have availability to read?
Here he is. We hand it over to Sham Sindhu Prabhu. We're at 245. 17:245.
Se Shanedana Prabhu Gangate Padila Nityananda Haridasa Dari Utaila. Immediately he ran to the river Ganges and jumped in to counteract the sinful activities of that woman. Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur caught him and raised him from the river. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is God himself. but he was playing the part of a preacher. Every preacher should know that being allowed to touch a Vaishnava's feet and take dust may be good for the person who takes it, but it is not good for the person who allows it to be taken. As far as possible, this practice should ordinarily be avoided. Only initiated disciples should be allowed to take this advantage, not others. Those who are full of sinful activities should generally avoid it. Do you have anything you'd like to speak on this one?
Like to continue.
I do see us devotees playing around, grabbing each other's feet and things. Seems
That's
what's your take on it? Harmless,
yeah.
risky.
No, that's fine.
Uh,
And I've said here, for the initiated devotees, but people, outsiders with great respect want to take the dust of your feet, and for them it's culturally natural and so on, but it's not very good for the person whose dust is taken, and therefore Prabhupada advises us to avoid this.
Vijaya Acharya Gare Se Ratre Rahila Kata Kale Bhakta Sabe Gare Lana Gela. That night, the Lord stayed at the house of Vijaya Acharya. In the morning, the Lord took all his devotees and returned home. Ekadina Gopi Bhave Grihe Tevashiya Gopi Gopi Nama Laya Vishanahana. One day, the Lord, in the ecstasy of the gopis, was sitting in his house, very morose in separation. He was calling, Gopi, Gopi. Eka paduya aila prabhuke dekite, Gopi Gopi Nama Shuni Lagi Labalite. A student who came to see the Lord was astonished that the Lord was chanting, Gopi, Gopi. Thus, he spoke as follows. Krishna Nama Nalaukene, Krishna Nama Danya, Gopi Gopi Bali Leva Kiba Haya Punya. Why are you chanting the names Gopi, Gopi, instead of the holy name of Lord Krishna, which is so glorious? What pious results will you achieve by such chanting? It is said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigyeha na Bhujhaya. No one can understand the activities of a pure devotee. A student or neophyte devotee could not possibly understand why Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting the name of the gopis, nor should the student have asked the Lord about the potency of chanting Gopi, Gopi. The neophyte student was certainly convinced of the piety in the chanting of Krishna's holy name, but this sort of attitude is also offensive. Dharma vrata tyaga hutari sarva shubha kriya samyam api pramada. To chant the holy name of Krishna in exchange for the achievement of piety is an offense. This, of course, was unknown to the student. Thus he innocently asked, what piety is there in the chanting of the name Gopi? He did not know that there is no question of piety or impiety. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna or the holy name of Gopi is on the transcendental platform of loving affairs. Since he was not expert in understanding such transcendental activities, his question was merely impudent. Thus, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, apparently greatly angry at him, reacted as follows.
We have some things in the chat.
Yes. Okay.
Murari Gupta Prabhu writes, Hare Krishna Maharaj, is there some transfer of karma just by shaking hands? It's not a part of traditional Indian culture.
Can't say. And yeah, can't say. I'm not a fire marshal or expert.
Raveen Prabhu writes, there is also a karma and consciousness transfer for eating foodstuffs made by them.
Yes.
Maharaj, so was the student offensive because he tried to instruct a senior, or
Yes. Yeah, he's instructing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, oh, that you shouldn't be chanting this, you should be chanting that. That was not his prerogative. And of course, at a deeper level, he's instructing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but even on the face of it, he was instructing a superior person.
It also seems, looking at the purport, that him equating the chanting as a means of acquiring piety is like that offense. I think it's the 8th.
Yeah, I think that's one of the auspicious rituals found in the Vedas. Yes, so he's offensive us.
I wonder also, since the holy name is said to be so merciful, even though he was making those offenses, will his faith in the holy name override that and ultimately bring him to a deeper understanding, or is it rocky territory?
Well, it's rocky territory when one is
The student said that it is an exaggeration that the scriptures were making all these glorious statements about the name to get people to chant. Should I go on reading?
Go on reading.
We have a comment from Donna Masji. Haribo, I'm grateful to be here and only able to listen today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Thank you, Tina. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Who else? Or you want to keep reading, Shamsundar?
I don't mind.
He doesn't mind. Go for it.
Shuni Prabhu Krodhe Kaila Krishna Doshodgara Tengalana Utila Prabhu Kaduya Maribara. Hearing the foolish student, the Lord became greatly angry and rebuked Lord Krishna in various ways. Taking up a stick, he rose to strike the student. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam that when Uddhava came from Lord Krishna with a message for the gopis, all the gopis, especially Srimati Radharani, denounced Krishna in various ways. Such denunciations, however, reflect an exuberant, loving attitude that an ordinary man cannot understand. When the foolish student questioned Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya similarly rebuked Lord Krishna in loving exuberance. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in the mood of the gopis and the student advocated the cause of Sri Krishna, Lord Chaitanya was greatly angry. Seeing his anger, the foolish student, who was an ordinary atheistic Smarta Brahmana, foolishly misjudged him. Thus he and a party of students were ready to strike the Lord in retaliation. After this incident, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to take sannyas so that people would not commit offenses against him, considering him an ordinary householder. For in India, even now, a sannyasi is naturally offered respect. Incredible. I didn't realize this. This incident was the reason he took sannyas. I would heard that the students were giving problems. I didn't realize it was this bad.
Yeah.
This, I think I remember hearing Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur do little service, send his disciples to do little service for Vamsi Das Babaji. And he, I believe, eventually told them, don't go there, you'll make offenses. It seems similar. These personalities were so exalted, it's just almost dangerous to go near them because it's so difficult to understand what they're doing that the mind naturally makes some mundane judgment of it.
Yes.
But then how do you respect? I mean, it's like so bewildering. You don't know who's who. So
Mhm.
how do you have a mood where even if you see something strange, you don't let your mind jump to conclusions?
It's a question of culture. One has to know how to respect senior persons. And one has to purify the mind so that it's not runaway critical. It shouldn't be naive and foolish. Also, one shouldn't be gullible and treatable. But one should also not be just filled with a critical mentality.
I guess one thing I'm curious is there are certain symptoms that someone who has love of Krishna exhibits, but this seems, when it comes to personalities who are really deep in that mood, it's like you can't just observe them and figure it out. Are these characteristics and qualities of someone who has love for Krishna still there, things that you can kind of pinpoint?
They're listed in the Nectar of Devotion, these static symptoms. But are there ways that you pinpoint them? Tell me again.
Yeah, like ways where you can kind of observe and be like, okay, this person, my mind is trying to tell me they're crazy, but there are these signs. So let me just not go there mentally.
Yeah, sometimes one decides in advance not to go where one may be exposed to criticism, or sometimes one hears criticism in some meeting and then declines the opportunity to do anything. And whether it is
How to treat seniors, keep it safe, always respect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
We have something in the chat.
Okay.
Praveen Prabhu writes, Lord says before taking sannyas, Karila Pipa Likanda Kafa Nivarite Ulatiya Aro Katha Badila Dehite. I made the medicine Pipa Likanda to clear excess mucus, but instead of clearing the mucus in the body, it created more.
Yes. I don't have a comment.
Murari Gupta Prabhu writes, this line of recognizing a great personality, not being gullible, is another razor's edge, and people in India take advantage of it to cheat others.
Yeah. The people are bluffed. You don't want to offend. That happened with that Bisiki saying that false Vishnu who was punished by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. No, you're committing offenses to Bhagavan. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur knew the science, knew the Siddhanta, knew that this fellow was cheating, so he wasn't bluffed. The ordinary people can back away. Oh, you're committing offense. They become afraid. So one, as you say, one has to be careful to see one's way through these things. Okay. I'm going to read some more.
Unless anyone wants to take it from me, then I don't mind.
You're welcome to, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. All right, thanks, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Bhaye palaya paduya Prabhu pache pache daya. Ashte vyaste bhakta gana Prabhu re rahaya. The student ran away in fear, and the Lord followed him. But somehow or other, the devotees checked the Lord. Prabhu re santakari anila nijagare. Paduya palaya gela paduya sabare. The devotees pacified the Lord and brought him home, and the student ran away to an assembly of other students. Paduya sahasrayahan pade ekatani, prabhuda vritanta dvija kahetahanyai. The Brahmana student ran to a place where 1,000 students were studying together. There, he described the incident to them. In this verse, we find the word dvija, indicating that the student was a Brahmin. Actually, in those days, only members of the Brahmana class became students of Vedic literature. Schooling is meant especially for Brahmanas. Previously, there was no question of schooling for Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, or Shudras. Kshatriyas used to learn the technology of warfare, and Vaishyas learned business from their fathers or other businessmen. They were not meant to study the Vedas. At present, however, everyone goes to school, and everyone is given the same type of education, although no one knows what the result will be. The result, however, is most unsatisfactory. As we have seen in the Western countries especially, the United States has vast educational institutions where everyone is allowed to receive an education, but the result is that most students become like hippies. Higher education is not meant for everyone. Only selected individuals trained in Brahminical culture should be allowed to pursue a higher education. Educational institutions should not aim to teach technology, for a technologist cannot properly be called educated. A technologist is a Shudra. Only one who studies the Vedas may properly be called a learned man, Pandita. The duty of a Brahmana is to become learned in the Vedic literature and teach the Vedic knowledge to other Brahmanas. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we are simply teaching our students to become fit Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. In our school at Dallas, the students are learning English and Sanskrit, and through these two languages, they are studying all our books, such as Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita as it is, and the Nectar of Devotion. It is a mistake to educate every student as a technologist. There must be a group of students who become Brahmanas. Without Brahmanas who study the Vedic literature, human society will be entirely chaotic.
So there's a lot to be said there about, or a lot that is said there about the present course of education. I think I speak a lot about that, so I won't amplify it today, but we see that Srila Prabhupada isn't of the opinion that everyone should go to college, and only selected persons.
I'm very much appreciative that the focus is that human society should not become chaotic rather than economic development. This economic development craze is so damaging to people's psyche, not to speak of the environment. And seeing Prabhupada hammer so heavily on society being peaceful, not chaotic, simple, so that people can invest their intelligence in higher purposes. Like, it's sad to think that that's not something I grew up knowing, most people grow up knowing. But then the result becomes horrible. People even become successful and kill themselves. I believe Prabhupada spoke on that when he came, people jumping off of buildings, students, big education just to kill themselves. Getting educated in how to hate their existence. It's disgusting. But I never realized the duty of a Brahmana is to become learned in the Vedic literature and teach it to other Brahmanas. I thought they learned it to teach it to everyone.
No. Of course, there's some knowledge that's distributed widely, but when it comes to serious Vedic study and things, not everyone.
Okay. I'm wondering if Jacqueline Mataji would be able to read. We just read 253. Is that right, Shamsundu Prabhu? We just read 253. I got lost track in the quote.
254 now.
Yeah, 254 now.
I'm sorry, is it up in the chat, or do I have to go to the web page?
Yeah, it's in the web page.
Sorry.
The purport. We can pass it on to someone else this time, if that's better.
Yeah. Any I don't know who's in. My apologies, everyone. Yeah, anyone who would be kindly take that away from me for the moment.
Banu and Kanti, are you available?
I had the database up before. I'll pull it back up.
Pradipurna Madhavi, are you available?
Yes, Prabhuji. शून्य क्रोध कैल सब पढ़ो यार गण सबे मेले करे तबे प्रभुर निंदना. Hearing of the incident, all the students became greatly angry and joined together in criticizing the Lord. सब देशे भ्रष्ट कैल एक लाने मानी ब्राह्मण मारिते चाहे धर्म भय नाई. Nimai Pandit alone has spoiled the entire country. They accused. He wants to strike a caste Brahmana. He has no fear of religious principles. Purport: in those days also, the caste Brahmanas were very proud. They were not prepared to accept chastisement even from a teacher or spiritual master. Should I continue or pause for any comment?
I'll just offer one comment that this is the predecessor environment to social media. Since they didn't have social media in those days as a venue for committing offenses, the student went to the assembly of puffed up students, and there they were able to post their comments and grievances and put little hearts or whatever for those who were most expert in committing offenses and making foolish comments.
Thank you, Maharaj.
You're welcome to continue if you would like.
Yes, Prabhuji. Text 256. पुनः यदि ऐसे करे मारे बता हरे कौन वा मानुष्य है कि करते पारे. If he again performs such an atrocious act, certainly we shall retaliate and strike him in turn. What kind of important person is he that he can check us in this way? प्रभु निंदाय सवार बुद्धि हैले नाश सुपथित विद्याकारो Nahai Prakasha. When all the students thus resolved, criticizing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their intelligence was spoiled. Thus, although they were learned scholars, because of this offense, the essence of knowledge was not manifested in them. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Maya aprit jnana asuram bhavam ashritaha. When one becomes inimical to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, adopting an atheistic attitude, asuram bhavam. Even if one is a learned scholar, the essence of knowledge does not become manifested in him. In other words, the essence of his knowledge is stolen by the illusory energy of the Lord. In this connection, Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur quotes a mantra from Shvetashvatar Upanishad 6:23. Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha guru tasyate katita hi artha prakashante mahatmana. The purport of this verse is that one who is unflinchingly devoted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu and similarly devoted to the spiritual master with no ulterior motive becomes a master of all knowledge. In the heart of such a devotee, the real essence of Vedic knowledge becomes manifested. This essence is nothing but surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vedescha sarver aham ev vedyaha. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, 15th verse. Only unto one who fully surrenders to the spiritual master and the Supreme Lord does the essence of Vedic knowledge become manifested, not to anyone else. The same principle is emphasized by Sri Prahlad Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam. Iti pumsar pita Vishnu bhaktischennav lakshana kriyate bhagavati adhatan manne aditam uttamam. A person who directly applies these nine principles, hearing, chanting, remembering, etc., in the service of the Lord is to be understood as a great learned man who has assimilated the Vedic literatures very well. For the goal of studying the Vedic literature is to understand the supremacy of Lord Sri Krishna. Sridhar Swami confirms in his commentary that first one must surrender to the spiritual master. Then the process of devotional service will develop. It is not a fact that only one who diligently pursues an academic career can become a devotee. Even with no academic career, if one has full faith in the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he develops in spiritual life and real knowledge of the Vedas. The example of Maharaj Khatwang confirms this. One who surrenders is understood to have learned the subject matter of the Vedas very nicely. One who adopts this Vedic process of surrender learns devotional service and is certainly successful. One who is very proud, however, is unable to surrender either to the spiritual master or to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, he cannot understand the essence of any Vedic literature. Srimad Bhagavatam declares 11:18. शब्द भ्रमणे निष्णातो न निष्णायात् परे यदि श्रमस्तस्य श्रम फलो हि अधेनुम एव रक्षतः. If one is learned in the Vedic literature but is not a devotee of Lord Vishnu, his work is a useless waste of labor, just like the keeping of a cow that does not give milk. Anyone who does not follow the surrendering process but is simply interested in an academic career cannot make any advancement. His profit is only his labor for nothing. If one is expert in the study of the Vedas but does not surrender to the spiritual master or Vishnu, all his cultivation of knowledge is but a waste of time and labor. Just one comment. Once I had heard that Lord Vishnu can tolerate all the bad qualities in his devotee, but not pride. Because pride is the biggest obstacle on the path of devotional service because it doesn't let us surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we should have some timely checks to analyze. And I have one question. What can there be some parameter against which we can measure um, both how our pride is decreasing and surrender is increasing to analyze ourselves on the path of spiritual progress? Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you.
Can we have that last line one more time? The last question.
Yes, Maharaj, I was saying, can we have some parameter against which we can analyze how our pride is decreasing and our surrender is increasing on the path of spiritual life?
Yeah, what can I say? One, as we see that one is becoming humble, tolerant, peaceful in that way. So as we can see that we're losing our temper, one knows it, but one thinks he deserved it. It was good for him. If I hadn't said something, he would do blah, blah, blah. So one denies the message that's delivered clearly even to on the ordinary platform. But a fortunate person will be humble. Beginning is humility. And then the humility takes practical shape in the activities. Hare Krishna.
And Maharaj, initially, if we are not humble by heart, should we act externally with humility?
Well, it's not putting on a show, but we should follow the protocols that nurture humility. The example is famous that in the very early days before I joined Gargamuni, one time asked Srila Prabhupada, Swamiji, should we bow down to you even if we don't feel anything? And because, young people, especially in those days, were all concerned with integrity and with, acting authentically and so on. So if I don't feel anything, should I still bow down? Prabhupada said yes. Because by following this, what should we say? This custom of following this protocol, one develops in spiritual advancement. One becomes humble. So we don't want to just make a show and fool others or fool ourselves into thinking that we're highly qualified devotees. This doesn't mean that nothing should change, that we should just lie. Hare Krishna. I hope that's right.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. And move on to the next text then.
Sindhu.
Sindhu Prabhu. 257. 258.
Thank you. You can take it.
Okay. So we just finished 257. Tatapidam bika paduyanam rana hihaya yahantahan prabhuranindahasi sekaraya. But the proud student community did not become submissive. On the contrary, the students spoke of the incident anywhere and everywhere. In a laughing manner, they criticized the Lord. Sarvagya Goshani Jani Sabara Durgati Gare Vashi Chinteta Sabara Avyahati. Lord Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, being omniscient, could understand the degradation of these students. Thus, he sat at home, contemplating how to rescue them. Yata Adhyapaka Aratanra Shishyagana Dharmi Karmi Tapo Nishta Nindaka Durjana. All the so-called professors and scientists and their students generally follow the regulative principles of religion, fruitive activities, and austerities, the Lord thought. Yet, at the same time, they are blasphemers and rogues. Here is a depiction of materialists who have no knowledge of devotional service. They may be very religious and may work very systematically or perform austerities and penances. But if they blaspheme the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are nothing but rogues. This is confirmed in the Hari Bhakti Subodhaya 3.11. Bhagavad Bhakti Hinnasya Jati Sastram Japa Stapa Aprana Shaiva Dehasya Mandanam Lokaranjanam. If they are without knowledge of devotional service to the Lord, then great nationalism, fruitive political or social work, science or philosophy are all simply like costly garments decorating a dead body. The only offense of persons adhering to these principles is that they are not devotees. They are always blasphemous toward the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees. Oh, Dhyana Tamirandasya Ganandana Shalakaya Chakshun Meditamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Maharaj, that verse you quoted just before what is it? Amanitvam Adambitvam. I believe Prabhupada in the purport mentions all those, I think, 20 qualities that Krishna mentions are of no value if one doesn't come to the point of devotional, unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Lord. And this seems to speak on the same thing. All these people, all these qualities that someone can be following the regulative principles, austerity, good qualities. If they're not coming to the point of being devotees, they're still just rogues.
Yeah, then these are just decorations on a dead body.
And then he also mentions great nationalism, fruitive political, social work, science, philosophy. I believe it was a purport in Nectar of Instruction where Prabhupada just said, it's all extended sense gratification. And so it's interesting, a lot of these things when I see someone, before kind of getting a more devotional understanding of things, such a great person, without realizing that if they don't have any attachment of their activities to the higher purpose, serving the Supreme Lord or his representative,
that's useless.
It's interesting, but these are things I was seeing something about where there are things that you can't learn through intuition alone. It's something that has to be taught by principles, higher principles. And it's interesting to think that there's so many things that look good, but if you don't know the principle, you'll completely miss that you're glorifying a demon.
Yeah. Okay, I think we can stop.
Time for Kirtan. Sham Sindhu Prabhu, could you lead Kirtan, please?
Okay. Sorry, I only have one tune, so you guys have to hear the same tune every time.
We only need one at a time, so it's okay.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnupada Purnamansa Paripuracharya Stotara Sri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kundata Kundgiri Govardhan Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadip Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jaman Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Hari.
Holiness, Jayādvaita Swami Ki Jai.
Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Jaya.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.